Dr. Kanjilal taught me the most important thing is how to study materia medica, because I used to complain to him that it is difficult for me to study materia medica, because when I study pulsatilla, I find there are all symptoms which belong to other remedies. So how can I differentiate? Because that was my first year in homeopathy. So he said, don't worry, don't worry. There are ways to study materia medica. So you follow what I followed in my studenthood or in my early career. So he taught me how to study materia medica. This thing I share with you today. And also he was very he encouraged me very much to learn repertory. You see, there were many homeopaths who were using repertory, who were silent over repertory, and who were against repertory. Even Dr. Chandra Chakravarti, he told me not to study repertory much. He said repertory better you avoid and study more materia medica. He discouraged me even to buy a repertory. But Dr. Kanjal said no. He said, your guru was wrong. You study materia medica as well as repertory. And you cannot afford without studying repertory. He said, Hahnemann himself, he had ordered a repertory by Dr. Jar. Kent had a repertory and used it. How we not? So it was Dr. Kanjilal who stimulated me in the study of repertory. And also, he taught me many prescribing techniques. He was a very good homeopath. Dr. Kanjilal, he passed his MBBS from Kolkata Medical College in 1936. And by 1942, he became fully converted to a homeopathic doctor. And since then, till his death in 1985, he practiced homeopathy like a stalwart. So, as Dr. Kanjilal taught me how to study materia medica, I am now going to share with you. He said, you first classify materia medica into three categories. First category is primary text of materia medica. These are called primary text. If you study Dr. J.T. Kent's materia medica, you will find sometimes he will say, it was in the text. The text said, text means this thing or this text, particularly the first four. So these are Dr. Samuel Hahnemann's Materia Medica Pura Volume 1 and 2. Then his Chronic Diseases Volume 1 and 2. Then TFLN, Dr. Timothy F. Allen, Timothy Field Allen. I said once, there are three famous or great Allens in homeopathy. One is Dr. T.F. Allen, means Timothy Field Allen. He was famous for his encyclopedia. Then there was J.H. Allen, John Henry Allen. He was famous for chronic miasms. And there are H.C. Allen, who was famous for his keynote prescribing and his book Keynotes, Allen's Keynotes. So Dr. T.F. Allen, he compiled a very big encyclopedia of 12 volumes single-handedly, without the help of others, single-handedly. So big books he compiled from all sorts of proving. He compiled one single volume. This is Dr. Allen's encyclopedia. Then fourth is Dr. Constantine Herring's Guiding Symptoms of Our Materia Medica, 10 volumes. But I tell you, Dr. Constantine Herring, he could have completed only 4 volumes of Guiding Symptoms during his lifetime. After he died in 1880, he had 11 children. None was homeopath. You see, he had 3 wives, 11 children, none was homeopath. Kent had 3 wives, none of his children became homeopath. So you see, homeopathy survived not hereditary connection, by hereditary connection, by gurus and disciples. So Dr. Constantine Herring had so many disciples, so many students, and homeopathy survived through them. So two of his very dear students married two of his daughters. So he had son-in-law. One is Dr. C.V. Nar, another is, I forgot the name, I'll tell later on. So they helped because Dr. Constantine Herring gave the guidelines how to compile his guiding symptoms. And after his death, his son-in-laws and other disciples together they compiled the other 6 volumes. So we are getting now 10 volumes of guiding symptoms of Dr. Constantine Herring. What Herring did, Herring Herring graded the symptoms. You don't find grading in an encyclopedia or in Honeyman's. But Constantine Herring, for the first time, he graded the symptoms. He graded all the symptoms of materia medica and individual medicine into 4 grades. If you study his book, you find there are two thick, uh, thick, uh, thick, thick sign, like 2 fingers. This is called first degree, first grade symptom. Then 1 finger, this is second grade symptom. Then 2 thin finger, thin. This is third grade. And one thin finger, this is fourth grade. So you'll find in his book like this. 2 big finger means this is first grade symptom. 1 big finger, second grade symptom. 2 thin finger, third grade symptom. And 1 thin finger, fourth grade symptom. So he gave you some advantage because you were in a hurry. Okay, you go on studying only first grade and second grade symptoms. Then you know the most important symptoms of a medicine. But if you have enough time, okay, go on studying all the grades from grade 1 to grade 4. So this is the contribution of Dr. Constantine Herring. And he edited the random symptoms in an anatomical schema and with concise annotations. So our guru says, particularly Dr. Jayan Kanjilal, he said, Constantine Herring's guiding symptom will be your first book to learn materia medica, and that should be the last book of learning materia medica. Why? I will explain why he said like this. This should be your first book. Why first book? Because if you study Constantine Herring's guiding symptoms and see its symptoms, see the symptoms of pulsatilla, then you know these are the most important symptoms of homeopathic materia medica. Now, if you study any other materia medica afterwards, and you find a symptom not present in Herring's guiding symptom, so you can watch this symptom with confusion, with doubt. So he said, if you study Constantine Herring, you find the most definitive symptoms of Hahnemann's materia medica. So afterwards, if you study another materia medica, you can see the important symptoms from that book only, and which are not present in Constantine Herring, you may learn or may not learn. Then we find Richard Hughes. Richard Hughes was also a big stalwart of Britain, though he had some confrontation with Hahnemann's idea. But Kanjilal said he was a big stalwart. Don't criticize him much. You criticize what you don't like, okay, but you don't criticize him wholly, because he had very good or very important contribution to homeopathy. That's why you must appreciate this part, and you can take from Hughes what is not confronting Hahnemann. Okay, so he had 2 important books. One is called Pharmacodynamics, very important books. If we study a new drug, before studying other, we go to pharmacodynamics of Richard Hughes. Why? Because Richard Hughes, in a short, he said the development of this medicine from Hahnemann up till now. So you find a chronological order of development of a particular medicine. Then he wrote also one encyclopedia like TFLN. This is called Cyclopedia of Drug Pathogenesis. It has 4 volumes. But the problem is that Dr. Richard Hughes, he did not like Hahnemann's symptoms proved with very high potency by 30. He said, no, these sort of symptoms, these are not dependable symptom. So, which symptom came out by lower potency, these are most definitive. So, there is a controversy, we are not going to that one. That's why if you study his Cyclopedia of Drug Pathogenesis, you find mostly the symptoms elucidated by lower potency, but also it's a good book. Then Dr. J.H. Clark, A Dictionary of Practical Materia Medica. Dr. J.H. Clark, you know, he is one of the 7 pillars of homeopathy. He is a British homeopath. So what he did, he just, this is an, you can say he edited so many materia medica books, and he compiled 3 volumes of Practical Materia Medica. This is a nice book. And he wrote what you see. First, a general description of the medicine, and all the medicine in anatomical schema: head, eye, stomach, abdomen, like this, like this. So if you don't study this anatomical schema of materia medica, only study the first general description of the medicine, this is very good one. And you will find so much idea from Clark's Practical Materia Medica, like this. So these 6 books, these are called primary texts of Materia Medica. All other homeopathic books written afterwards, they took their information, their data, their symptoms from these 6 books and wrote the books. So let us see what is the secondary text of Materia Medica. These are called secondary text of Materia Medica. Means this Materia Medica has been written by these authors. They are also stalwart of homeopathy, but they took all the information. These are not primary books. These are not basic books. They took all the symptoms from the primary texts, but they presented the medicine in some particular way so that the reader understands medicine well. So first one we see Dr. Carol. He was a very great guy, a student of Dr. von Boningen, though he was American and he was president of American Institute of Homeopathy. He was a big shot in world homeopathy at that time. He wrote a book. It is like this size. This is called Lectures on Materia Medica. This is a very good book. It is available with Vision Publisher. You can buy and see. But this is secondary text, I say. Then even Dr. Hughes, as I told you, he wrote Cyclopedia of Drug Pathogenesis, details, but a smaller book. Its name is A Manual of Pharmacodynamics. This is a gem. Those who can study in English, I tell you to buy a copy of Manual of Pharmacodynamics and try to study medicine from here also. You will find many more information which you don't find elsewhere. Then a book by E.A. Farrington, Clinical Materia Medica. He has 2 books. One is Clinical Materia Medica, another is Comparative Materia Medica. But this one is more famous. Clinical Medica of E.A. Farrington. I tell you, E.A. Farrington was a direct student of Dr. Constantine Herring. And his elder brother was also MD from Philadelphia Medical College. And by his stimulation, he was interested in homeopathy and studied in Homeopathic Medical College and became an MD. Then he became a professor of Materia Medica of Hahnemann Medical College of Philadelphia, the most illustrious, biggest homeopathic medical college of the world that time. And Dr. Constantine Herring is to praise him too much. He said, when I shall die, Farrington is the one who will lead the world of Materia Medica and he will complete my guiding symptoms. You see, when Herring died in 1980, and Farrington died only few years afterward, in 1984, I believe, in very young age, in the age of 39 years only. Now, Farrington has six sons. Two of them became homeopath, and they were like his father. They were MD, and they were professor of so Hahnemann Medical College. One very famous, his name is Harvey Farrington. Harvey Farrington wrote a book named Homeopathy and Homeopathic Prescribing for Postgraduate Students. This book is available also. This is a very good book, very, very good book. You find he wrote all the medicine in numbers by giving numbers 1, 2, 3, like this, say up to 34. It just said all the medicine in 34 para. Then at the end, she said, now the medicine in 5 lines. All the medicine he will summarize in 5 lines. These are very important part of his book. This is the gem of his book. So you cannot afford without this book to try to procure Harvey Farrington's Homeopathy and Homeopathic Prescribing. This is very good book, I tell you. Then Dr. J. Ticken's lectures on materia medica, it does not need any explanation, any elaboration. This is the best book that time on materia medica. Why best? Because they say Kent is the one who first tried to picturize a personality of medicine as a personality of patient. Say, Nux vomica. You will picturize a person, the character of a person who looks like materia medica, Nux vomica. So this is a picture, drug picture, a personal picture of materia medica you find by studying his book. So that's why Kant's lecture on materia medica is so famous. And it has Bengali version, anybody can learn. But I will say, if you have command on English, try to read the English version. Then William Borwick's Materia Medica with Repertoire. Also, this book is a gem. You cannot afford without this book. You cannot afford good practice without this book. Okay, somebody will criticize that his doses are only lower potency. Okay, don't take his doses, but don't neglect the description of the medicine. Also, the style of his materia medica is that he will give first a small paragraph saying the generalities of the medicine. Then he will teach the medicine anatomy according to anatomic schema: head, eye, stomach, abdomen, like this, like this. This is a very good book. You cannot afford without this. Then there is Dr. Adolf Lippi. Adolf Lippi was very dear student of Dr. Constantine Herring. And he wrote this book, textbook of materia medica. His name is Lippi. The pronunciation should be Lippi, not Lippe. I found one person in a good institution. He translated this book in Bengali. And I saw he wrote the name of Dr. Lippi, Lippe, Lorishikar Poikarpe. I said it is wrong because you must give good, correct pronunciation of the doctor itself, because you translated a book and you wrote Dr. Lippe. No, it gives a bad idea. So if it is possible, you change it. But I think he was not happy with me. But this is the thing. His name is Lippe. Lippi. You see, there is particular pronunciation like Charles Rawi, R-A-W-E. How can you pronounce R-A-W-E? Somebody will pronounce Roe, Charles Roe, this and that. No, you'll have to follow the Americans, the way they pronounce. It is Charles Rawi, William Borwick. No, not Borwick. Borwick, William Borwick. This is the pronunciation. Then E.B. Nash. Nash's leaders in homeopathic therapeutics. Also, it does not need any explanation because everybody studied this small book so splendidly written by by giving his own experience in space. But they say this is the elaboration of H.C. Allen's keynotes of materia medica. They were friends. So H.C. Allen's keynotes of materia medica is the smallest book, and Ibanez based this book and gave his experience and made this book Leaders in Homeopathic Therapeutics. Now you come to HCLN, Keynotes of Mathematics. It is a just small book. But believe me, all the stalwarts of homeopathy, they were of high praise of this book. They said HCLN's Keynotes of Mathematica is the essence of Dr. Constantine Herring's Guiding Symptoms of Mathematics. Guiding Symptoms of Mathematics, you see, 10 volumes, big volumes. And this is a small book. But if you study pulsatilla from Guiding Symptoms, then you study pulsatilla from ACL and keynotes, maybe in 1.5 pages, you find the gem or essence of Guiding Symptoms in this small book. So you cannot afford without studying this book. So please study this book in English, because there are some Bengali translation are not good, because the meaning, every word very meaningful words. Then Dr. H.N. Garancy was very famous. Garancy was younger friend of Herring. Dr. H.N. Garancy was a very big homeopath, and he was a professor of homeopathic practice in gynecology of Hahnemann Medical College of Philadelphia. So he was younger colleague of Dr. Herring. So he wrote this book, also these keynotes of materia medica. So these two keynotes are very famous in homeopathic literature. So all my aged and experienced viewers in this class, sure they know this is only futile to tell to you, but this I am telling to the younger doctors, that Dr. H.C. Allen's keynotes of materia medica and Garancy's keynotes, you cannot afford without studying these two small books. So please study. So these are all secondary texts of materia medica. Now let us go tertiary texts of materia medica. Tertiary, what does it mean? If primary texts are stem like kando. Secondary texts are branches like shakha. Tertiary texts are proshakha. It means those who wrote tertiary materia medica, they took their information from the secondary text, not from primary text. They will give you reference from the secondary text. These are also very good books, very famous book, and it is easy for us to understand those who cannot understand the primary text. So if you read Dr. M.L. Taylor Homeopathic Drug Picture, this is a gem of materia medica. You find she will give, this is she, because she's a female homeopath, very famous female homeopath, 3 in the world, and she's one of them. Dr. M.L. Taylor, she was a consultant and professor of Royal London Homeopathic Hospital. She wrote this book. You see, Dr. M.L. Taylor, just I want to tell something about her. She studied Kent's repertory in such a good way that she went to America while Kent was alive. And there was a conference on Kent's repertory. And Dr. M.L. Taylor gave a lecture on Kent's repertory. That Kent in his part lecture, he praised Dr. M.L. Taylor. That, oh my God, this guy, she studied my repertory, and she knows my repertory more than me, it seems. Because she showed the weakness of Kent's repertory. He said, these are your weakness. These are the strength, this and that, like this. So she was a very big guy, Dr. M.L. Taylor. So she wrote these books. You find first she will write what Ken said, what that doctor said, what Farrington said, that 5, 6 doctors, and at the end she will write, in my view, this is this. So these sort of books are very good because you are getting in his book the views of other big stalwarts as well as her own views. So you cannot afford without this book. Who did not read this book, I am just I feel pity for you. So don't miss this book. This one you buy and study. I think somebody also maybe translated this book in Bengali, but don't go for Bengali. If you have a good knowledge of English, you try to study the English books. If you cannot, you okay study the Bengali books, no problem. Then Dr. N.M. Chaudhuri. Dr. N.M. Chaudhuri, he was the son-in-law of Pratap Chandra Majumdar, Dr. P.C. Majumdar. He was an Indian stalwart of homeopathy in the early age. So he sent him to America and he did his MD in homeopathy from America in 1925 or maybe earlier. And when he came back to India, he was professor of Calcutta Homeopathic Medical College and he was a stalwart of homeopathy at that time. So he wrote this book, Dr. N.M. Chaudhuri, A Study on Material Medicine. It's a very good book. Very, very good book. You find a good description of the medicine along with his own commentaries. This is a very good book. So you cannot also afford without studying this book. Then Dr. S.R. Phatak. They are all became allopathic doctors in the beginning. S.R. Phatak was an MBBS, but he was converted to homeopathy. He wrote this book, Materia Medica of Homeopathic Medicine. Also, he wrote another book on biochemic medicines. So this Materia Medica of Homeopathic medicine also a very good book, and it is a tertiary text. Then Dr. Ken Mathur, he was also an MBBS, and he did his MF from Royal London Homeopathic Hospital. He wrote this book, Systematic Materia Medica. This book is, I think, better for students, not for senior doctors. This is good for students, but this is also a good book. Then we have Dr. George Vitolkas. Vitolkas, I think so does not need any elaboration. So he is a Greek homeopath. He wrote one small book. This is Essence of Materia Medica, and a big volumes like Dr. Herring's Guiding Symptoms. This is Materia Medica Viva, or Viva. These are very good books you find in the Materia Medica Viva. He wrote I think he followed Dr. Dr. Clark, because first he gave a general description of the drug, very good one, very good one. Then he followed anatomical schema. Here, what is head, what is in the eye, what is in the abdomen, this and that. So his style is like Dr. Clark's Dictionary of Materia Medica. This is a very good book. I recommend it. Then Dr. Roger Morrison, also a American student of George Vitolkas. In 1978, he went to Greece and he studied under George Vitolkas for 2 years, went back to America, and he was a very good homeopath there. He's still alive. He's in our age. He's 67 years. He wrote, it is like keynotes, a desktop guide to keynotes and confirmatory symptoms. It is a little bigger than the other keynotes, but it's a very good book because here he classified the symptoms in grades, like in bold type, then small type, this and that, like 4 grades. So you can know from the look of the study which symptoms are very important. And he gave also some clinicals and a small description in the beginning. So this is a good book you will study. Then Rajan Shankaran. Rajan Shankaran is younger than me by 4 years. He was disciple of Dr. Jain Khanjelal also. And I talked to him in Calcutta, and he was so much praising Dr. Kandila like anything. But what I say, Dr. Rajan Shankaran, though he's a genius homeopath. But he deviated little bit from the path of Hahnemann. He developed another system. He goes with Hahnemann, say 10 steps. But the last two steps, he deviates to his own revelation. But that's okay. This is called sensation method. You may read or may not read sensation method, but don't miss reading his small book Soul of Remedies. It is like other keynote books. It's a keynote books and it's very important, very good, small book but very good. You can study a medicine in little time from this book. Then there are two books, though my gurus, Dr. Kanjilan and others, they never recommended this book, and I did not read in my early period these books. Only afterwards, long afterwards, I find that other people are studying. Then I bought and I saw these books and I read also. But if you don't have command on English, okay, you can read this book. These are two good books, I'll say. Rabindranath Mundapadhyay, Oshud Parichaya, and Nilmani Ghatak, 3 volumes. I think the third volume not written by him. He wrote only the first two, but these two books are good also. But these are all tertiary texts. You find Nilmani Ghatak will say, oh, Dr. Kent said, Dr. Farrington said, Dr. Adar said, Nash said. It means they took their information from the secondary texts. So if you can read secondary text by yourself and even the primary text, no need to pursue these books. But if you cannot, okay, this book will help you. So these are the categories of materia medica categorized by our stalwarts to make our study easier and step by step. Now, little bit here. Principal lessons to learn from materia medica. Okay, if I want to study a new drug, say pulsatilla. So what I learn from the materia medica? In a book of materia medica, what I search for? So these are the things. You must learn the source of the drug and the related history. Okay, it is sepia. You should know where from the sepia came. And also there are good stories how sepia was revealed to Hahnemann and he was interested to make the proving. If you study Thuza, you should know where from Thuza came and related history. That history means with many medicines there are history how the prover or even Hahnemann was interested to study this medicine. So like Thuza, you will find there is a good history. Also in Lachesis, there is a good history. In Lycopodium, good history. So from any book, you study materia medica, you try to find out the source of the drug and if there are related history. But in all books, many books, you don't find related history. These are only in few books. Then you should know proving and provers. Who proved it? It was proved at all or not? If it is proved by Hahnemann, yes, you don't have any confusion. So you should know who proved and how proved. And there are some introductory commentaries about the medicine. You find in many books, they give commentaries about the medicine. This small commentary is the gem of this medicine. They say, Dr. M.L. Taylor, she will say, oh, she will write one poem about the medicine. This medicine is this and that in a few lines. So these are very good things also to learn the whole medicine. Then you study the constitution and physical makeup. Not all medicine has constitution, like say Staphylococcus, you don't find any constitution. But if you study Lycopodium, Calcarea car, say Silesia, sepia, you find there are good constitution and physical makeup. And you must learn it. In a book, you don't find the constitution and physical makeup of sepia. No, it is a not good book. So you will have to find out this thing. Then you find general symptoms of the medicine. But in most of the books, you don't find general symptoms all together or classified. You will have to make it. I'll show you today. That you find general symptoms like cases in any book, in many places. You don't find these are classified. So this is your duty while you study the medicine to categorize and classify the general symptoms and bring them all together so that you can study at a glance. Then you should study all the mental symptoms. You will find in most of the books. But in some books, you don't find much. Like in body, you find little mental symptom, not much, not much. But in other books, you find more mental symptom. So if you find that in body, he gave only little mental symptoms, you try to find the mental from other books, correlate your information. Then after general symptoms and mental, these two, general symptoms, mental symptoms, you must learn very well because most of the medicine we prescribe, so 75% of the information we get from general ailment to prescribe the medicine. But also you must learn all the particular symptoms. You have to study particular symptoms. It means you study the symptom by anatomical schema. What are the symptoms of the head, what are the symptoms of the eye, ear, and throat, stomach, abdomen, and genitalia, and this and that. But here you note only the peculiar symptoms, not the general symptom, not common symptom. It will not help you much. Only important and uncommon symptoms. Then also you read modalities, aggravation and amelioration of the medicine. And also you study aggravation and amelioration in two categories, general modality and particular modality. Sometimes you find general modality is different than the particular modality. You find that say phosphorus, its general modality is chili medicine, chili medicine. But you find its stomach modality is opposite. He wants cold things, cold drinks, cold food, and everything. So you can find the modalities general and modalities particular, sometimes different and against each other. So you should, while you study, you should study like this. Then you study the relationship of the medicine. What is relationship? You find one medicine complementary to others, one medicine is inimical to others, one medicine follows other medicine well, like this. So in relationship, you should give more emphasis to learn inimical relation rather than complementary. Say apis, neptamine is a complementary of apis. You may find calcirecar is a complementary of belladonna. But the inimical relationship is more important to learn. Why? So you find Rastox and Apis, they had inimical relationship. Means if you prescribe one, the other one will be prescribed afterwards. In the second prescription, no. Then it will harm. Then Asia and Marsol had inimical relation. Then phosphorus and costricum has inimical relation. So while you study the medicine, you must learn this thing also. Otherwise, your study is incomplete. Then you study by comparison with other remedies. If you study, say for example, phosphorus, you should study along with this causticum also, or maybe acid phos. If you study petroleum, it has so many symptoms in the skin. So you have to study other skin symptom medicine also, like sarsaparilla, like graphitis. So this is a comparison with other remedies. Then brief essence of the remedy. After studying all this information of the medicine, you should write a small note of the essence of the remedy for yourself. Then your study is complete. Now let us go to the next thing. This is a very important phase given by our gurus. They said how to learn a medicine. As I said you, that Medica is like an ocean, like a sea. You just cannot cross it from any side by anywhere. No, you must have a good plan. So our gurus they said when you are going to learn a medicine in the beginning, don't go to the primary text. No, no, no. Don't study it from Animals Mathematical Figura. Then you don't understand anything. Don't try to study it from Ellen's encyclopedia. No. From Hughes's encyclopedia, Drug no. Then what to do? They said, first you try to take a skeleton idea of the remedy, a skeleton of the remedy. You want to learn pulsatilla, okay? You should learn what is the constitution of pulsatilla, what they want, what is his relation with air, heat, cold, his thirst, and his emotions, his other symptoms like stomach symptoms, their genital symptoms for female and male. So you get a brief idea about the medicine first. Don't take a big idea about the medicine in your first reading. No. So they say gaining a primary skeleton of symptoms picture of each medicine from some syllable. Be read in the beginning. So my guru said, Dr. Kanjilal said, your first book will be Allen's Keynote. Allen's Keynote will be your first book, he said. And then you study nations leaders, because this is the explanation of Allen's Keynote. Then you study Boric and Kant, and then Harvey Eddington, and lastly Taylor. If you study these books for a medicine, for any medicine, Nasmomica, Pulsatilla, sulfur or anything, from these books you get a good idea of the essence of this medicine. So you go on learning all the medicine like this. Not total medicine, but a brief essence of the medicine. So here, when you study, say, 200 or 300 medicines like this, then you study in the second phase. That was the phase 1. In phase 2, you will study so much. Then you will study the medicine as much as possible, as widely and as deeply. But you study first the secondary text. Don't go to the primary text first. First the secondary text. All Kant's, Boric's, Eddington, this and that, elaborately. After that, you go to the primary text. Okay, let me see what Dr. Herring said. Let me see in the Mathematica Pura what Hahnemann said about pulsatilla. What Allen's keynotes, you should see what the some symptoms of cantheris, because they said cantheris has priapism, means painful erection of penis, and it does not relax. And some patient comes to us after taking Viagra and other drugs. This is called priapism. He said, from last night my penis is standing like this without relaxing. You find in our materia medica, there are medicines. So if you study cantheris, you go to Allen's encyclopedia and see these symptoms are present there. The was said, after I took cantheris, from third night, my penis was standing like this. I thought it's okay. From the fourth night, it was painful erection. And my wife was worried, I was worried. Then I went to the doctor who was proving the medicine, then he stopped it. So you see, in some symptom, we'll have to, I don't tell you to read all encyclopedia of LS, no, but selected parts to be studied from there, and then you find an idea who prove these symptoms with what potency and this and that. And then after studying secondary text and primary text, you also work out all the important symptoms of that particular medicine, say pulsatilla. It's rubrics from repertory. You find out the rubrics from repertory. Okay, pulsatilla said he cannot stay in warm room, closed room. He wants open air. Find out the repertory rubrics in repertory, cancer repertory. If say that say for example, Kelly Carr, that he has aggravation at 3 to 4 a.m. after midnight. He has aggravation of respiratory distress, and he'll have to get up and sit and bending forwards. Okay, you find out these symptoms and rubrics in the repertory. You go to the repertory in the chapter of respiration, go to night, midnight, after 3 to 4, and you find sitting up evaluate. So your confidence will be more. Your confidence in learning your medicine will be more because you find the symptoms in the materia medica and its rubrics in the repertory. So your learning will be very smooth, very solid. And also, they said this time you make two notes. One is long note, one is small notes. One is long notes mean this all the medicine from very source, then story, then its preparation, then its constitution, general, mental, particular relation. All these you try to make a note from because afterwards you cannot study all these books together again. So from all books, the important things you put in a note. You make a big note, elaborate note. And at the same time, after finishing the study, finishing the long note, you make a small note. Is the essence of the remedy. So that you can study this medicine again and again, only in this small note to memorize its important symptoms. So in the second phase, you will have to study secondary text first, then primary text with repertory rubrics, and you will have to make two notes, one long note, one short note. Then you come to phase 3, your study of materia medica. What is phase 3? That okay, you now studied all the medicines, skeleton picture and details picture. Now you learned everything. But you will find only after a few months or maybe 1 year, you forget so many things of all the medicines. You would think, okay, lobe inflata. Oh, you don't find even a single symptom of lobe inflata in your mind. Gone, everything gone. So what to do then? Because there are so many medicines. And how many medicines you will have to learn? I gave this lecture in previous one. I'm not going to repeat here again. So it is said, if you are an experienced homeopath and you practice in the capital of the country, and many patients come from far places, and you have to treat many complicated patients, very chronic patients. In such position, they say you must have to learn at least 200 large remedy. What is large remedy again? I'm not going to tell it here. 200 large remedy, big remedies. At least 150 small remedies. And another 100, no, medium remedies. And another 100 small remedies. Large remedy, medium remedies, small remedies. So 300 to 500 medicine. 300 to 500 remedies should be in your hold. Now, how to keep all this information in your mind? Our mind is not very good sometimes. We are forgetful. That's why they say, after all this, you go restudying all the medicine every year. Dr. Khan used to tell me, keep your L and skin notes with you and learn one medicine every day. Because this is very small book, only 1.5 page or 2 page of medicine. He said, from beginning to end, go on studying Allen skin notes every day, at least one medicine every day. So by 1 year, you will study 350 medicines, or at least 300 medicines. Then next year again, next year again. If you go on studying like this, then all you learned in the phase one, phase two will become alive in your mind. And what has gone, what is dead, you find by repertory. After studying all this, you find that all the information are not remaining in your mind still. But that thing, okay, you can compensate by repertory. By repertorizing the case, you can find this thing. So ultimately, you'll have a command on, say, 300 to 500 medicines with the command name repertory. You can handle all the symptoms of the patient and the symptoms of the medicine to find the similarity. So I think, yeah. So this is my lecture on study of materia medica. I wanted to give it in the beginning of lectures. Why? Because I thought many of the new participants in our lecture, they did not find this lecture beforehand, because this one I gave maybe before 1.5 years ago. So I hope this will help you how to study materia medica. I told you materia medica is like a ocean, like an ocean or sea. So you must have good strategy, advice from the seniors, from the stalwarts, how to study and how to retain the information in your head, in your mind, so that you can reproduce while you practice in the selection of remedy for a patient. Now, some words only on legacies, then we will finish in 10:30. Only 10 minutes give me. Now, legacies trigonocephalus, our medicine today. Legacies trigonocephalus or legacies muta. Both are correct, but trigonocephalus, this is the species name. This is more famous. So while we study a medicine, you see, we also know synonyms. This is called synonym. Synonym means other similar names. So its book name is Lachesis trigonocephalus. Its synonym is Lachesis muta. Then there are common names, because these are Latinic names. But there are common names of a medicine in the locality. So its name is Bushmaster. Lachesis name is Bushmaster in Suriname, in South America. Or they say Surukuku snake, Surukuku. Why Surukuku? Because they said, there is a saying, this snake, while in jungle, lying in the jungle, he will sing Surukuku, 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 Surukuku by this sound. That's why the local people called it Surukuku snake. Okay? Then its natural order is Ophidia. Okay. Now, we have many snake remedies, but the most important are these 6 here. And I hope to study all these 6 in this class, one by one, one by one. And I hope if everybody here in this class, you follow our class and attend our class, you will never repent that you have lost the time in futile works. No, you'll be much benefited, because we will discuss the medicine in details. Maybe some information you did not hear before anywhere. So please try to attend the class every day. Don't miss any week. So these 6 medicines we'll study here. The first one is Lachesis trigonocephalus. This is called lens-headed viper, proved by Dr. Herring in 1828, while Herring was only 28 years old. We'll say the details afterwards, only name now. Then there is another one, Crotellus horridus. This is called rattlesnake. This is also very poisonous snake. This is proved by Dr. Muir. Then Naja tripudians. This is Indian snake. Naja tripudians. This is called Indian cobra. The cobra. In our Silet, this is called Alot Shap. Alot Shap, this cobra. Indian cobra. This is proved by Dr. Russell and Stoke. Then another very poisonous snake, Elaps corallinus. We use all this medicine and we'll tell you. We use Naja of course, Crotalus of course, Legacies of course, Bothros of course, because in many cases of thrombophlebitis, thrombotic disorders, we need this bipair. So I hope you will also learn with us how to study. So this Elaps corallinus, this is Brazilian. It is available in Brazil, Brazilian coral snake. This is proved by Dr. Murray and Lippi. Dr. Murray and Lippi. There you see Murray. Somebody will pronounce Mure, not Mure. This is Murray. This is not Lippe, as that guy he translated Lippe. No, this is not Lippe, Lippi. Then Bothrops, very good drug. Bothrops lanceolatus. Also, there is a proving. This is called Farde lens of the island of Martinique. Martinique Island has this snake. This is Dr. Odanam. Then Vipera torba or berus. This is also very toxic or poisonous drugs, but it is not proved in Hahnemannian way. But its symptoms are collected from its toxic symptomatology from the patients themselves. So these 6 drugs, I show you the photos, then we'll stop the class today. This is Lachesis trigonocephalus. This is 12 feet long, and they say its body is like the big thigh of a big man. This is so big. So you can imagine how big the snake, and it is very ferocious because other snake will flee when he will see a man. He will see a person, the snake will flee. But this one, no. It is aggressive. He will attack you without provocation. This is ferocious. Like is it trigonocephalus? This is Crotalus horridus. It's a very dangerous drug, but snake, but very useful medicine. We'll discuss very useful medicine. Crotalus horridus. This is the Alot Sharp in silver. This is Naja tripudians, the Indian cobra. We see this snake played by snake charmers, This is Naja tripudian, very good drug for various heart diseases. This is congenital heart disease and many say valve disorders. Very important drug. We use it in many patients. We will discuss afterwards. Let me see the photos first. This is called Elaps corallinus. It's a very dangerous drug. Very dangerous drug. And very dangerous drug, snake means very good medicine. My God. This is Bothrops lanceolatus, also ferocious snake, and very good medicine. Very, very good medicine for thrombotic disorders and also for other disorders. But many times we use it in such thing. Why? We'll say the symptomatology afterwards. Oh my God. This is called Vipera. This is Vipera, left side Vipera torba, right side Vipera berus. Very, very dangerous drug. From next class, we'll start Lachesis trigonocephalus. We'll first give the description of the snake itself, the bushmaster of Surugugu, and then we'll go to the proving of Lachesis. There are many stories of proving. We'll discuss all stories of herrings like proving. Then we'll discuss its constitution and sites of action, and then its general symptoms. You see here, I categorize, I put all the information together so that you find the information given by all authors in a single piece. So this you'll have to do it for yourself. And this is a long study. As I said you, this is my long study of materia medica. And also I have short study of this one. We'll see afterwards. These are all general symptoms going, general, categorized. Then we'll come to the symptoms of mind and so on. Inshallah. Okay, let me finish today here because I did not give you any time for rest. So please excuse me for talking so much about the lecture. I hope you get some information from this lecture. If the younger students and practitioners, if they are benefited from my lecture, if they get a guidelines which I got from my gurus, then I think you'll be benefited in studying homeopathic medica and studying homeopathic system of medicine itself and to become a good practitioner, inshallah. Okay, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. I give the microphone to Dr. Anwar Patwari. You can
Uh,
take some
Thank you.
question and commentaries, and we'll finish at before 11 o'clock. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your very excellent presentation. Uh, আমাদের উপস্থিত প্রেজেন্ট পার্টিসিপেন্ট যারা আছেন তাদের উদ্দেশ্যে বলছি, আপনাদের যদি আজকের আলোচনার উপরে কোনো মন্তব্য অথবা প্রশ্ন কোনো কিছু যদি আপনাদের থাকে অথবা কোনো বিষয় বুঝতে যদি একটু অসুবিধা হয় সেটাও আপনারা বলতে পারেন। স্যার আবারও আপনাদেরকে সে বিষয়ে বলবেন এবং আমরা আশা করি 11টার মধ্যেই ক্লাসটা শেষ করতে পারবো। আপনাদের যদি কোনো মন্তব্য থাকে হ্যান্ড রাইজ করলে আমাদের নামগুলো ঘোষণা করতে সুবিধা হবে। কেউ যদি কোনো প্রশ্ন বা মন্তব্য করতে চান হ্যান্ড রাইজ করে আপনারা আপনাদের মন্তব্যগুলো করতে পারেন। প্রথমেই হ্যান্ড রাইজ করেছেন আরিফুল ইসলাম। জি, আপনার মাইককে আনমিউট করে প্রশ্নটি করবেন। ডক্টর আরিফুল ইসলাম। আরিফুল ইসলাম, আপনাকে আমরা শুনতে পাচ্ছি না। যদি আপনি প্রশ্ন করতে না চান তাহলে হ্যান্ডটি করবেন, অথবা যদি কারিগরি কোনো সমস্যা হয় তাহলে ক্লাস থেকে ডিসকানেক্টেড হয়ে আবার রিকানেক্ট করলে আশা করি আপনি আপনার কথা আমরা শুনতে পারবো।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম। হ্যাঁ স্যার, স্যার আমি ওই ডিএইচএমএস জাকির হোসেন মেডিকেলের প্রথম বর্ষের স্টুডেন্ট। তো ইংলিশ ভার্সন স্যার বইগুলা কিভাবে পড়া যাবে? যে ইংলিশ ভার্সন স্যার বইগুলোর নাম বলতেন ওই বইগুলা। আর মূলত স্যার আমি এমনি এমবিবিএস না হওয়াতে আসলে ডিএইচএমএস আসছি। তো এখন ইংলিশ ভার্সন আমাদের পাঠ্যক্রমে বা সিলেবাসে নাই বা কলেজে পড়ানো হয় না। ইংলিশ বুকগুলোর উপর কিভাবে দখল নেওয়া যায় বা একটু পড়ার গাইডলাইনটা যদি একটু বলে দেন ফার্স্ট ইয়ার স্টুডেন্ট হিসেবে।
Okay, because this is English class, that's why I'm sorry. I am giving you answer in English. You see, you can never learn homeopathy by following your syllabus. Then you don't become a good homeopath at all, at all. Homeopathy has no syllabus. No syllabus of materia medica. This syllabus only to pass and get a registration. But to learn homeopathy, you'll have to go beyond your curriculum, beyond your syllabus. So these books are not in your syllabus. This is just, it's a lame excuse. It will not be in your syllabus. That's why you will not learn it. The books you in your syllabus, these are not, if you studied even in Calcutta, you know. In Calcutta, this is Bengali speaking province of India, but even this Bengali books they don't read because they all of them in India, you know, they don't have DHMS course, they don't have diploma course. All are BHMS course since long time. That's why they study from the university all the English books, and that's why you will find the Indian doctors, they are teaching homeopathy all over the world now. India has become what America was in later part of 19th century. Why? Because they study it in English and they study it from the original books. Their knowledge is higher than you. You are limited in your syllabus. You are saying these are not included in my syllabus. How you do you expect it? That's why I tell you we should learn English little bit more. Without English, your study of homeopathy will be limited up to a certain stage. After that, you cannot go beyond it. We must try to improve our English so that we can study more English books. Books are not translated in Bengali. So unless you study in English, you cannot study these books. You cannot study an encyclopedia, even headings, getting symptoms. Some people, I think, they translated some versions, but you cannot study all these books. That's why if somebody knows little English, I will ask him for favor of homeopathy. To learn homeopathy more, he can take some English course, private course, to improve his spoken English, reading English, and writing in English in correct way. This will help you studying homeopathy more and more. And what I said, the name of the books, all are available with Vision Publishers. Some books not available, these are European books, but most are available with Vision Publishers. Thank you very much.
থ্যাংক ইউ। এখন প্রশ্নটি করবেন ডক্টর মৃদুল কান্তি দে, আমাদের হোমিওপ্যাথিক পরিষদের সম্মানিত ভাইস প্রেসিডেন্ট চট্টগ্রাম থেকে। ডক্টর মৃদুল কান্তি দে, স্যার আপনার মাইকটি আনমিউট করে প্রশ্নটি করবেন। মৃদুল স্যার শুনতে পাচ্ছেন?
স্যার প্রথমে হ্যাঁ আমি শুনতে পাচ্ছি। আপনারা কি শুনতে পাচ্ছেন? আর ইউ হিয়ারিং মি?
কন্টিনিউ করবেন স্যার।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
Yes, sir.
স্যার প্রথমে আদাব।
We are listening to you. Yes.
You are not listening?
Yes, I am listening. Yes.
No, yes, okay. I am trying to.
Next is Shibbir Ahmed. Dr. Ahmed Paturi. Next, Shibbir Ahmed raised hand. Okay. Dr. Mridul Kanti, please tell your question.
হ্যাঁ স্যার, ঘটকের যে তিনটা খণ্ড আছে, আমি শেষ খণ্ডটা তৃতীয় খণ্ড যেটা আছে ঘটক লিখে নাই।
জি, yes.
এক নাম্বার 2 হচ্ছে ওখানে বাংলা বইয়ের মধ্যে যেগুলো আমরা পরে আরো জ্ঞান লাভ করেছি তার মধ্যে এম্পটাসার বইটা উল্লেখ। এম্পটাসাদি বলতে আমি মহিম ভট্টাচার্যকে বুঝাচ্ছি, যেটা ডাক্তার ঘটকের জামাই। এই রেফারেন্সটুকু আসলে মনে হয় বাংলা ভাষাভাষীদের জন্য অনেক বেশি উপকার হবে। আর আমাদের রিলেশনশিপ একটা ক্যালভিন বিনার একটা বই আছে, এগুলো ফলো করা যায় কিনা?
Okay, thank you.
শুধুমাত্র এই প্রশ্নটা রেখে আপনাকে।
Okay, thank you, because I did not suggest much Bengali books here because this is English class, and what I said, this is our higher study, higher training in homeopathy. That's why Bengali books, if I suggest or not, anyone will read it. That's why it does not need any suggestion. I gave suggestion of English books because there are so many English books. You cannot read one book without knowing its importance. That's why I mentioned important book while I enumerated this thing, so that you can listen, like Tyler's Drug Picture. It's a very good book, and who knows English little bit better, not much, because these are easy English. And if you read Tyler's Drug Picture, you will be benefited much. And yes, for your relationship, because when you study a medicine from various books of materia medica, you find a relationship and other thing in many books. If you want to study only relationship book, yes, you can refer to any books, any related books, CBR, and there are other books also. But here we emphasized the general information of the medicine much. Okay, thank you. Shibir Ahmad, I think he raised
জি,
his hand.
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ স্যার। শিবির আহমেদ স্যার, আপনার মন্তব্য আশা করছি আমরা। আপনার হ্যান্ড রাইজ করা আছে, মাইকটি আনমিউট করে স্যার প্রশ্নটি করবেন।
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Thank you
salam.
for very excellent, like all the other lectures. So thank you very much for taking us to the world of snakes. So here I see, so it's the great creator. So আপনি বলছিলেন এটা যে খুব বিষাক্তকর. So how come this ferocious things, these snakes, is coming to our help? Its ferocious nature, so the poison, in a different way we can say the drugs from the snakes, they are as well ferocious in a different way, in a positive way. So it's a new world, and homeopathy, of course, we must give thanks to homeopathy.
You can increase your sound little bit, Dr. Chibli.
Well,
You can increase your
sir,
sound little bit.
Okay, sir, thank you very much. So we must thank homeopathy, so for revealing the world of snakes for, say, humanitarian causes. It's a great service. The snake, they can kill you, and the snake, they can save you as well. And this is homeopathy who has explored these things. And I am excited that in the next lectures we are going to learn lot many things of the snake, from the snakes, how the snake, they can be our friends, not enemies.
Yeah.
And regarding the materia medica studies, what you have mentioned here, I see, well, we are playing, being a doctor, we are playing with the life of our patients. And here, knowledge, our only weapon is our knowledge and experience. So any gap in our knowledge and experience, this can cost the life of our patient. So this is not a sport, this is not a game. Whenever we are going to treat patients, human beings, save the life of people, we must have to be well equipped. And I see here, they are say learning. And in homeopathy, the very essence, the very say it's the very subtle things in homeopathy. So you have to, what I understand from your lectures and what from my studies, that we need to study, and what Dr. Kanjela has said. So every time, these are good tips, the very good tips you have given, and if we practice it, definitely we can be good doctors, good homeopaths, and if it applies for everyone else. And here I found in homeopathy, say, you need to study more and more, even more than the allopathic physician.
Yes,
More
sure.
than the allopathic physician.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Allopathic physicians say once you know the use of antibiotics, other drugs, you melt. It's not very much necessary to read more. But in homeopathy, this, what you say, the peculiar symptoms, important symptoms, so modalities, many other things, and by this knowledge we can make excellent cures. Everyone said this is incurable, but in homeopathy, so we find, alhamdulillah, it's curable. It's fantastic. So thank you very much, being the president of the organization and being a very, what I can say, one of the stalwart in present time, one of the stalwart in homeopathy. What you are doing for us, what you are doing for the homeopaths, and what you said, this your legacy lecture, this you have derived the information from many sources.
Sure,
So
sure.
here you have cut short our times. And what you are producing, all these are gems. Obviously, these are simply gems. I love to listen you more and more, just only to enrich me. And obviously, I hope say more and more homeopathics in Bangladesh. So this is a great opportunity, golden opportunity to enrich them, to take them in a higher level, I must say in a higher level. Well, so we are fortunate for getting a teacher like you who loves to teach, and he is who is so experienced, he's so learned. So I'm looking forward to listen more in the next classes. So thank you for thank you so much. Thank you for
Well,
enriching us, Thank
welcome,
you.
Shibli. Thank you very much also for giving your kind comments. Yes, sure, we are trying to enrich our homeopathic colleagues with better knowledge and higher knowledge. I think I find here Dr. Shahna Siddika from Canada. I believe she will also give some commentary about our class and its utility. Dr. Shahna Siddika, I think you can unmute and speak. Thank you. Doc- Dr. Shahana
Assalamu alaikum.
Siddika. Walaikum salam.
আহ, খুবই খুবই আমি মানে বলি যে আল্লাহ আপনাকে অনেক হায়াত দেখ, যাতে আপনি
Your sound,
আমাদেরকে এভাবে
your
নলেজ দিতে
voice,
থাকেন।
voice should be little bit louder. Just try to raise it the voice. Yeah.
Can I do that? Okay. I think, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Go on.
Okay. So বলি যে আল্লাহ তাআলা আপনাকে অনেক হায়াত দেখ, যাতে আমরা এরকম লেকচার গুলি পাইতে থাকি, এবং এগুলি আমাদের জন্য অ্যাসেট actually. First of all, you know told us like how to study materia medica. Actually, not everybody following that thing, but I try my best to follow that. But it's very important actually. That-
I believe one thing, because
yeah,
you practice in Canada and you are a member of the organization there. I think
yeah,
you can ask some of your Canadian colleagues to
yeah.
participate
I
in our
told them.
class, in our English class, because we give an English version first, then followed by Bengali version. So
Yeah,
in
yeah.
our English version, you can ask some Canadians to participate as well. So they will know our way of study and also they can participate.
Yes, I talked to my organization, so they have some kind of system. They have some company. They provide the lecturers. So I think I should send you sometime the link. Then you will understand. So I think they are bound with them, but still, I told them like we have very good lecturer in my country, so he does very well, and I always follow them, and yet they listen to me. That's right. So but still they say let's see what we can do, because তারা ওই একজন কোম্পানি আছে, ওরাই সাপ্লাই করে তাদেরকে। গত সপ্তাহে আমরা গাইনোকোলজির উপরে স্টাডি করছি।
But this is a free class. If they attend our class, this will be free for them. And I
Free.
hope they will learn
Yes,
from us also.
that's true. But they will
Because
make an
homeopathy is same
arrangement.
everywhere,
I gave them your phone number too, and they will contact you. So
Okay.
that's why I asked for your private personal phone number. So hopefully we're going to go forward about that. So এখন কথা হলো যে আসলে আমাদের এই ক্লাসটা অনেক দরকার, এবং বাংলা বইগুলিও আসলে ইউজফুল আমাদের দেশে। বাংলা বাঙালিদেরকে হেল্প করার জন্য বাংলা বইগুলিও আসলে অনেক হেল্পফুল। বাট ইফ ইউ ওয়ান্ট টু গো মোর অ্যান্ড মোর, you need to study English books. That's my suggestion actually. I think এটা আমার খুব ভালো লাগছে। বাট ইংলিশ বইগুলির মতো তো বাংলা বই তো আসলে খুব কম বই আছে ট্রান্সলেট করা হয়েছে ভালোভাবে। আহ, এটা আমার খুব ভালো লাগলো। এবং লাস্টলি যে ডক্টর সাব্বির আহমেদ সাহেব বলছে, আই লাইক দ্যাট, খুবই ভালো লাগছে ওনার ওপিনিয়ন গুলি আসলে।
Dr.
আই
Sabir
এগ্রি উইথ দ্যাট।
Ahmad, Dr. Sabir Ahmad, he is the
Yeah.
senior most professor of Sylhet Usmani Medical College. He's the
MashaAllah.
second most professor. Yes,
So
yes, yes. And
exactly,
he's
because I
doing
don't know
homeopathy.
anybody
Doing
personally.
homeopathy.
Hopefully one day I will meet them. I love to talk to them. So actually it was very good opinions. এটাই আমি বলবো ইনশাআল্লাহ। আর আপনি যতগুলি সাপের দেখাইলেন, এটা তো আমি
Okay,
মনে হয়
thank
জীবনেও
you.
দেখি নাই।
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shahna Siddiqa, for your kind comments. This will help
ইনশাআল্লাহ।
us to grow our class more. I think here I find Dr. Soyed Mohammad Ali Kajol. He's he's a member of Bangladesh. He's an honorable member of Bangladesh Homeopathic Board, and not only that, he is a senior homeopathic practitioner from Government Homeopathic Medical College. I believe he will say something about the class and encourage the audience here. Dr. Soyed Muhammad Ali Kajol, if you can unmute and talk.
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Thank you to everyone. Actually, I was busy in my program, but this class is very important to me. I think it's not for me, it is the great opportunity to all Bangladeshi. And I believe also, not Bangladeshi, all homeopaths. Sir, he's our icon. I pride of him because Dr. Sheikh Farooq Elahi sir, his all lecture I heard, and I am very um, cordially. I want to listening his lecture. Yes, today legacies. It is a very important medicine
Yes,
in
I know
homeopathy.
Dr. Muhammad Ali Kajol is
Sir,
busy. He's busy with our divisional homeopathic congress. Okay, still, thank you for participating in
still
the
I,
class. Thank you very much. Thank you.
yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I find here Dr. Sobuz Mia. Also, he was a government homeopathic medical officer appointed in an Upazila complex. And he's a good homeopath, so far I know, and he has made many video classes on homeopathic subjects. So, Dr. Sobuz Mia, if you want to share with your opinion, you are welcome. Dr. Sobuz Mia. He's an BHMS, he's Government Homeopathic Medical Officer, and BHMS from Government Homeopathic Medical College. Sobuz Mia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
First of all, thank you, sir, for introducing me in such an excellent way. And I hope you all guys here are very well. And today is your class was just extraordinary and more than excellent, I would say. And your explanation about how to study Mathematica or to study a medicine was a stunning because as far as I know, such kind of class is absolutely perfect and absolutely necessary for all the homeopaths around the world, not only in Bangladesh. And you know, in our country, most of the homeopaths are diploma holders, and their lackings in Mathematica, anatomy, physiology, pathology. So your opinion and your procedure to how to study Mathematica, of course, everybody will be very benefited by your lectures. And in the next class, we will learn more about lachesis. And in this class, I will say about your excellent book, Chikitsa Sangaskarok o Bishwakhato Homeopathy Jibon o Kormo, because you know we are some homeopaths in Modbaria all together reading this book from the very beginning, and we are trying to end up this book. At present, we are reading about herring, and I am very glad to say when we are reading about herring, there are many information that we never heard before.
Yes.
And if someone read this book thoroughly, they will never get any problem. It's like a story book, and if anyone read this book, they will also cope up and they can melt in this book with materia medica, because when they will read the book, they will find the taste when they will read the materia medica any medicine, as like hearing lifestyle, hearing story, and hearing proving of legacies. So I would request all the homeopaths here to buy this book and study this important book, and this will help you more. So thank you very much, everybody, for inviting me to say something. I wish your best of luck and hope next class will very much helpful for us. Thank you, everybody. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Thank you, Dr. Shobij Mia, for your encouraging comments. Dr. Anwar Patwari, if you can take one more question if there is, or we can finish because it is already nearing 11 o'clock. Thank you.
স্যার আমাদের আরো দুজন হ্যান্ড রাইজ করে আছে, আমরা দুটো কোশ্চেন নিয়ে বা মন্তব্য নিয়ে আমরা শেষ করব। ডক্টর মনির উদ্দিন, আপনার হ্যান্ড রাইজ করা আছে, আপনি যদি আপনার প্রশ্নটা করেন, এরপরে ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ আমিনুজ্জামান, আপনি প্রস্তুত থাকবেন।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহ।
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহ।
Sir, first I would like to thank the honorable sir for this class. This class is very important because it's increase our knowledge and broadens our outlook. I think that this class again and again listen. So, sir, how can listen of this class repeated? Because it is not live telecast in Facebook page. So how can repeat of this class or listen of this class? How can we get of this class?
Dr. Anwar Patwari, I think you can answer.
বিষয়ে স্যার আমি আনসারটা দিচ্ছি। আমরা লাইভ টেলিকাস্ট আজকে করিনি, আমাদের রেকর্ডে আছে, আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেলে পাবেন। আমাদের আজকের ক্লাসটি আগামীকাল অথবা আগামী পরশুদিন আপনারা হচ্ছে যে ইউটিউবে পাবেন। বাংলাদেশ হোমিওপ্যাথিক পরিষদের যে ইউটিউব চ্যানেল আছে সেখানে পাবেন, অথবা আমাদের বাংলাদেশ হোমিওপ্যাথিক পরিষদের ফেসবুক পেজেও পেতে পারেন। জি, ধন্যবাদ। আর কোনো হ্যান্ড রাইজ করা নেই, তো আমরা বোধহয় আজকের মতো শেষ করতে পারি। আর যদি কারো কোনো মন্তব্য বা প্রশ্ন থাকে একদম সর্বশেষ ছোট্ট করে, তাহলে হ্যান্ড রাইজ করলে আমরা দিতে পারবো, আর না হলে আজকের মতো এখানেই শেষ করবো। আর যেহেতু ধারাবাহিক আলোচনা চলছে, আমাদের ইংলিশ পর্বের আজকে প্রথম আলোচনাটি শেষ হলো এবং পরবর্তী ক্লাস কি আলোচনা হবে সেটাও স্যার বলেছেন। এবং আমার বিশ্বাস যে আমরা যারা মানে খুব ভালো ইংরেজি বলতে পারি না, কিন্তু যেহেতু মেডিকেল সায়েন্সের একটা বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা পড়ালেখা করছি এবং এই রিলেটেড বিষয়গুলো নিয়ে আমাদেরকে নিয়মিত স্টাডি করতে হয়, আমার মনে হয় না যে মনোযোগ দিয়ে যদি আমরা শুনে থাকি তাহলে বুঝতে খুব বেশি অসুবিধা হয়েছে। যতটুকু অসুবিধা হয়েছে আপনারা যদি আমাদের বাংলা ভাষণের ক্লাসগুলোতে আবার যুক্ত থাকেন, আমার বিশ্বাস যে আরো চমৎকার ভাবে এই ক্লাসটিকে আপনারা উপভোগ করতে পারবেন এবং একটা মেডিসিনকে আসলে কত ব্রডলি স্টাডি করা যায় সেই বিষয়টি স্যার শুরু করেছেন। এই স্টাইলটা ফলো করলে এবং কিভাবে ওয়ে অফ স্টাডি আপনারা তৈরি করতে পারেন আপনাদের নিজেদের জন্য। একটা মেডিসিন দিয়ে আমরা হয়তো উদাহরণ দিয়ে বিষয়টাকে হচ্ছে যে সামনে অগ্রসর হব। প্রতিটা মেডিসিনটা হয়তো ধরে ধরে আমরা এই ক্লাসে আলোচনা করতে পারবো না, কিন্তু আমরা একটা মেডিসিনকে যেভাবে আমাদের সম্মানিত সভাপতি ডক্টর শেখ ফারুক ইলাহি স্যার উপস্থাপন করছেন, এইভাবে যদি আপনারা আপনাদের স্টাডির প্ল্যানিং গুলো তৈরি করেন, আপনারা প্রত্যেকটা মেডিসিনকে এইভাবে স্টাডি করলে আমরা মনে হয় যে আমাদের যেই উদ্দেশ্য, আমাদের যে ব্রত, আমরা সেটাতে আমাদের কাঙ্ক্ষিত লক্ষ্যে ইনশাল্লাহ পৌঁছাতে পারবো। এই জন্য সবাইকে বলবো, আপনারা ক্লাসের একদম শুরুতে, আমি আজকে 10:30টার পরেও কয়েকজন হচ্ছে যে ক্লাসে যুক্ত হচ্ছিলেন, এটা খুব ভালো যে ক্লাসের প্রতি একটা আগ্রহ আছে। এবং প্লাস আমি আমাদের ক্লাসে প্রায় 70 to 80 পার্সন কন্টিনিউয়াসলি হচ্ছে যে যুক্ত ছিল, এবং আমি পারমিশন দিয়েছি প্রায় 130। সবাই যদি একসাথে থাকতো হয়তো আমাদের সেকেন্ড লিঙ্কটা ওপেন করা লাগতো। আমরা কন্টিনিউয়াস যেহেতু 70 থেকে 80 জন ছিল ইংলিশ ক্লাসে, এবং এটাও আমি মনে করি যে আমাদের জন্য অনেক বড় একটা প্রাপ্তি যে আমরা আমাদের এত সংখ্যক এই ইংলিশ ক্লাসে আমরা যুক্ত করতে পেরেছি, বা এটার প্রতি আগ্রহ যে জন্মেছে। এবং বাংলাদেশ হোমিওপ্যাথিক পরিষদ এই জায়গাটা আমি বলবো একটি অসাধারণ কাজ করেছে, যেই উদ্যোগ এর আগে কোনো সংগঠন বাংলাদেশ থেকে নেয়নি। এই প্রথমবারের মতো বাংলাদেশ হোমিওপ্যাথিক পরিষদ এই উদ্যোগ নিয়েছে, এবং সফলতার সাথে সেটাকে আমরা কন্টিনিউ করতে পারছি। এই জন্য আপনারা যারা আমাদের সাথে ক্লাসে যুক্ত হয়েছেন, যুক্ত থাকছেন, এবং দেশ বিদেশ থেকে যারা আছেন, এবং আমাদের সম্মানিত শিক্ষকবৃন্দ যারা আমাদেরকে অনুপ্রেরণামূলক বক্তব্য দিচ্ছেন বা মন্তব্য করছেন, সেই জন্য সবাইকে আন্তরিক ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি এবং আমাদের জন্য দোয়া কামনা করছি। আমরা যেন ভবিষ্যতে এই ক্লাসটিকে আরো সুন্দরভাবে, আরো চমৎকারভাবে আপনাদের সামনে উপস্থাপন করতে পারি, এবং আমাদের স্যারদের জন্য দোয়া করি আল্লাহ রাব্বুল আলামিন যেন তাদেরকে দীর্ঘায়ু দান করেন, সুস্থতার সহিত তারা যেন আমাদেরকে আরো লম্বা সময় হোমিওপ্যাথির স্বার্থে আমাদেরকে তাদের জ্ঞানগুলোকে বিলিয়ে দিয়ে যেতে পারেন। সেই জন্য আল্লাহ রাব্বুল আলামিনের কাছে দোয়া করছি, আল্লাহ রাব্বুল আলামিন আমাদের শিক্ষকদেরকে, আমাদের স্যারদেরকে দীর্ঘায়ু দান করবেন। আজকের মতো আমরা এখানেই বিদায় নেব। সবাই ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন, সুন্দরভাবে কাটাবেন আপনাদের জীবনের প্রতিটি মুহূর্ত, এই দোয়া কামনায় আজকের মতো বিদায়। আল্লাহ হাফেজ। আসসালামু আলাইকুম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহি ওয়া বারাকাতুহু।